Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to another video on the Soulithic Shift channel. This is going to be another great video, and I just want to remind you, you guys are energy, you guys are power, and yeah, man, like, I don't know what else to tell you guys. I'm going to sound like a broken record really fast. I've been talking about this stuff for years. So, yeah, man, your power. Yeah, man, or yeah, well, man. You guys are power. Listen, this video title came to mind with this. The video that came to my mind was this is going to be about how you will not be recognizable. This is something that an individual I loved to watch for his integrity on the spiritual journey and everything, which is funny. When I first had my like crazy awakening and things really started shifting in my life, I started to get creators that were actually like tailored to the way I perceive reality. So they were very raw with spirituality. They didn't cut corners. They didn't try to floof things. They didn't try to make you feel like you didn't like get this sense that they were gatekeeping things from you. You got it 100% to y'all. And that's also why I'm making my videos, because it's almost like it feels like there's a lot of creators out there that are in it for the more commercial spiritual stuff rather than really showing y'all how things operate with, like, I don't know, you know what I mean, like certain things. And don't worry, by the way, I want to say this too, I will be opening a thing where you guys can work with me, where I'll really sit with individuals and really help you master your mind, because I've been there, trust. And I'm gonna get into those videos later, but all these videos are really going to tie into each other. You're not going to be recognizable. You want to know one of the funniest things that happened among my journey that I still like? I started looking back recently and realized, holy moly, I really went through multiple different chapters where I was literally unrecognizable by people. Even when I did my locks and I had locks, and just like, it's very funny. It's very, very funny. But I want y'all to understand that you must be unbothered by others' perceptions of you. Everyone is going to perceive you differently. And what you understand, or what you need to understand, is no one is going to recognize you, especially when you step into divinity. Here's the thing. When they say this whole thing of um, a human mind cannot understand the mind of God, even there's a scripture that says, your ways are not of my ways. Here's the thing. When it comes to manifestation and all this, you really don't know how it's going to turn out. You have this sense or knowing that it's going to play out in your favor, but you really don't know how the universe, God, or the maker is going to bring it to you. Here's what I want you to understand when this comes to the topic of you will not be recognizable. When you want to break that old programming that's attracted so many things into your life that you feel like are unfavorable, those things are actually happening for you to realize that you are energy. But these things that are unfavorable, and trust me, I've heard people that have gone through wild stuff that tell me that they realized these were things they had to go through, and that blew my mind. That's a different level of boss that sometimes I didn't even think I had. But I want to give you an example. That quote to me is speaking to how you yourself might not even recognize it. The human mind won't understand the mind of God. I think I actually talked about this in my last video. I didn't talk about it, but I said, like, when you lose friends and family when you first awaken. I think I touched upon it. The thing is that's because of how divinity works. Divine intelligence and divine knowledge is not of this world. Do you understand that? Everything into uploads thing went off because it hit 12. Everything in this world is an afterthought of a divine intelligence. That's why it seems like this world mirrors a lot of things from a like biological standpoint, mental standpoint, or whatever the fact. Like, how certain plants, fruits, and vegetables match organs in the body, and then these fruits and vegetables actually benefit those organs in the body. Like, a divine intelligence had to do that. You do understand that, right? So, some of these people that are regarded as madmen or just true geniuses, and like, even like how, okay, so Picasso. I think Picasso's artwork is a really great example of this, and this is a really great example of how I'm not an artist, so I can't. I absolutely love art, and I guess I'm an artist in a certain way, like a music dance artist, because I'm a freestyle dancer. But it's like this. So I want to say this just to preface this. Some people may look at my dance videos and not like them. Where I've had celebrities like my dance videos. It's just a matter of perception. It doesn't really matter, right? So I don't mean any bad talk on Picasso, but I never really understood how people liked Picasso's artwork or how they found it amazing, right? Though very talented and very, like, revolutionary artist, right? But and I like what the person stood for, at least when it came to art. I don't know anything about the individual personally, but what I can understand is this man was so confident in his art and his artwork. No matter if anyone pulls like a conversation or a thing that he had where he might have said, "Nah, he actually doesn't like his artwork." I don't know if you guys ever see those individuals where it's like, "Oh, it's funny that." Actually, John Bellion's a good example of this. There was a song that like he had that was a hit that he never thought it ended up being good, and I laugh because it's always that. It's always like a project or something you think you don't like or whatever that ends up being like one of the biggest things you do or whatever. But let's stay on the topic of Picasso, right? This person was so confident in their work that it doesn't matter. Like, no matter what he said, or because I don't know if there's anything. That's why I was saying the John Bellion thing. I don't know if Picasso ever said he didn't like his own artwork or certain pieces that were popular, but where it all comes back to this whole idea of like perception to you, or you're going to shock people, is I don't understand Picasso's art, but something that channeled through Picasso that fueled him to go and do the things that he did and inspire many people and say like this is a freaking great artist was divine. Whatever flowed through Picasso was divine. Because the thing is a lot of people aren't going to understand what I do. A lot of people aren't going to understand what you do. But when you get these divine downloads, remember, the human mind, or a human being is not going to understand a divine mind. So when you raise up into your divinity, you're not going to be recognized. Not everybody's divinity is going to look the same. That's why certain mythologies have many pantheons of gods and et cetera, because we're all our own perception. So if there's got to be an individual god for every little individual thing we do, like in certain cultures, there's a god of the grass, god of the sky, god of this, god of the sun, god of the moon. It's like it's literally all of these things are telling you of you. You're a god of whatever your thing is going to be, but you need to be able to embody that so hard to the fact where these perceptions of you don't bother you, because you're going to end up being misunderstood when you really start taking on higher divinity within yourself and a higher flow. Things are just not going to make sense. Like it's you know and that's the thing, because we've been programmed to think divinity is going to sound the same as what we've been seeing throughout our entire life. But when people go and do these spectacular things, and you're left asking, how did they do this? Or how are people attracted to this individual and the certain things that they do? Understand that they've unlocked divinity within themselves. And maybe there are certain individuals out there that are doing it on a psychological level or whatever. But I'm telling you, there are certain things that you and I both know that you look at and cannot find an explanation for. And that's what I love about this whole thing. Gotta be God, isn't it? Because there's certain things that have gone viral, and just things that, like, it's like, people try to find out this code to what makes things viral and what's this. And I'm truly in a knowing of this by this point. I was going to say this deep feeling, but I'm going to just say knowing that it's whatever the person is channeling at the time. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, their belief in their self, or let me say knowing, their knowing in themselves has to be strong enough to where this thing just attracts like a beam of light. I'm telling you, because like I can tell you, when I can go back to other brands I've made, I don't know what really drew people to my videos. Everyone had a different perception. But the funny thing is at the time, if I go back and think about my mind during some of these brands I've created, it was really the fact that I just had this knowing that, you know what, people are gonna dig this, because if that guy can do it, I can do it. We're the same flesh and blood, I can do it. And then it turns into something more where I'm like, yo, and like it feels like I'm just channeling, like something's just working through me. I don't even know how I do what I do. I don't even know how I make like, like 20 videos in a week. And then like it's just, you're not going to make sense. Divinity is chaotic primordial energy that is a divine intelligence that made all of this, made beautiful creatures and butterflies and things and all of this stuff that's here. Think about that. If you're that same energy, that creational energy that did that, and you have the same power to manifest and attract and all that, what makes you think you're really going to be understood by minds here that have not recognized their own divinity? And it's no, like, no diss to them or anything like that, but you have to understand this spiritual journey that a lot of people miss is it's a very individual journey. And I feel like a lot of people get caught up in trying to have a community, and it's like a community can work until it doesn't, until you have infighting, until everyone's trying to argue about what's the right and the wrong way to do things. Soulithic shift won't be about that. Soulithic shift will be about you and then the gods that meet along the way to converse with each other and talk about what works and doesn't work for them. So have fun with this, but there's no specific right way for any of this stuff. And understand that you're going to be misunderstood. If you're divine, like, understand, if an angel or an alien, and everyone likes to talk about this all the time and how we're aliens and stuff, right? I've even said it before because we are just, our consciousness is alien, right? If an alien or an angel landed here, do you think individuals would even know what to do with this? This was actually told by me from a guy among my journey a long time ago when I lived in Florida. Amazing dude I met. He said that, you're like an angel in front of these people. And do you really think if an angel landed here to make everything possible for someone, they would even understand what was stood in front of them? And I even heard this with Christ. If you think Christ was here now, you think everybody would just be rocking with him? No, majority of people would try to throw this dude into a psych ward. You do understand that, right? This man said, "Who is my brothers and mothers and sisters? My brothers and sisters are only the ones that do this work." You're going to be misunderstood if you're divine. So understand that. Or if you're tapping into your divinity, you're going to be misunderstood. And it's better you recognize this now, and it will save you a long time of headaches and fights with so many people. Trust and believe me. Because, man, I've had like arguments where I'm not even trying to convince them of my points. I'm trying to get them to understand where I'm coming from. And because of their belief system, and they feel like the things that you are telling them are breaking down and attacking their belief system, they'll just come directly at you. Trust me, save yourself headaches of this. Please. Coming from your boy Rel, please save yourself headaches. If you are divine, understand that a lot of people haven't recognized their own divinity, and you're going to be misunderstood, because how would a human mind truly understand the mind of God? It couldn't. It couldn't. So understand that. You might not even know the reason you do some of the things you do when you start to really unlock this stuff. So, anyways, like, some people call that like inspired action, another thing. Anyways, love you guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'm out of here.